The Brooklyn Vegan Show is a podcast about music brought to you by the music blog and online record store Brooklyn Vegan. Make sure to subscribe to hear all of our upcoming episodes featuring interviews with musicians and more, and find us 24/7 at brooklynvegan.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Hey, welcome to the new episode of the Brooklyn Vegan Show. I'm BV editor Andrew Sacker, and to be honest, I'm a little sick right now, but I was feeling a lot livelier when I recorded this episode, which is an interview with Sammy from Drain. I caught up with Sammy ahead of the release of the band's sophomore album, Living Proof, which comes out Friday, May 5th via Epitaph, the follow-up to their great debut record, California Cursed, which had come out in April of 2020, just as the world was going into lockdown via Revelation Records. Drain were one of the hardcore bands that really popped off during lockdown, despite or in spite of there being no live music, and they just continued to rise since then. They've got a huge tour coming up with an amazing cast of openers, including Drug Church, Gel, MS Paint, Magnitude, Restraining Order, Combust, Gum, Torena, and Out of Pocket, all handpicked by Drain. And this new record it picks up where California Curse left off, and it pushes forward too. There's some new stuff on there. There's a rap interlude, a Descendants cover with clean vocals, and then plenty of the thrashy hardcore that Drain brought to their debut record. Sammy and I talk about this record a lot. We dive into some of the lyrics. We talk about the things that are new for Drain. We talk about the upcoming tour, some of Sammy's formative experiences in the hardcore scene, being a hardcore band in the post-Turnstile era, hardcore pre-pandemic versus post-pandemic, tons of other stuff. We get into his time drumming in the band Gulch, one of the most beloved metallic hardcore bands who broke up recently. We talk about gatekeeping, always a hot topic in hardcore. We talk about Sammy's love of the Grateful Dead and Drain's homages to that band. And at the end, Sammy names 5 current hardcore bands that he thinks any new hardcore fan should know. It was a really, really fun chat with Sammy. There's a lot of other stuff in there, and I highly recommend checking it out and listening to this new album by Drain, because if you like hardcore or metal or punk or anything in that realm, it's a really, really great record. It's, crosses boundaries between genre. Just great heavy music, great energetic music. You should really check it out. Before we get to the episode, just a quick shout out. Listeners of this podcast can get 30% off of their first year's membership at DistroKid by signing up at distrokid.com/VIP/BrooklynVegan. The URL is included in the description of this episode, and you can click directly from there. DistroKid is a service for musicians that allows you to easily upload your music to all major streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, and more. It allows you to do automatic revenue splits, so collaborators and co-writers can get paid too. It provides you with an artist page that links to your music on all streaming services. It allows you to add lyrics, credits, liner notes, and more. It's a super cool service, and as a reminder, you can get 30% off. Click in the link in the description of this episode. And now, my interview with Sammy.
Right on, man. What's happening, dude? Thanks for meeting up with me, Andrew. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm excited. It should be a really fun chat.
Let's do it, man. I'm posted. Let's kick it. Heck yeah. Open a window. We're posted up, dude.
Awesome. So what's up? What are you up to today?
Dude, I'm just chilling, man. It's like the first nice, actually warm day, in a bit. So honestly, I've just been enjoying it, man. I've been outside, rode my scooter with my girlfriend for a little bit today. I'm just hanging, dude. Yeah. What about yourself, man? And where are you coming from?
I'm in New York.
Okay, totally. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I just finished dinner. Um,
Heck yeah, man. Where in New York are you?
in the city in Queens.
Totally, dude. I was just out there, well, not in Queens, but I was in Brooklyn last weekend. Dude,
Oh,
so
awesome.
sick, man. Yeah, it was that big show that Flat Spot Records was doing or whatever with Speed.
Yes, yeah.
It was so epic, dude.
I wanted to go so badly, and it just like life got in the way.
Yeah, dude, it
But
happens, man. It totally happens.
how was
Yeah, I was.
Speed? I mean, I haven't seen them yet because they've only played America
Oh,
like twice or something.
yeah, dude, they're fantastic, man. They were so dope. It was because I saw 'em that their first one was just Sound of Fury, and that was epic. And then we went to Australia, we got to see those dudes, and so they were just so cool, and we got to hang with them, and I was like, dude, or wherever you guys are in America, I'll come find you. So I had to come out. I love New York. I mean, me and everybody else. But dude, they were so good. It was like Scowl right before them, and it was badass, just totally badass.
That's
Yeah,
so
I love
sick.
them. Yeah, so just laying low, man. I got that's dude, every time I go to New York, I always get a bunch of tattoos. So I'm like, just about tomorrow's 2 weeks, so I can be like chill to go back outside, like take my shirt off and go in the ocean and stuff. So I'll be like counting down the days. I'm like, okay, let's just like let's go, let's go, let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very cool, very cool.
Yeah, man,
Um,
let's go.
Speaking of New York, I mean, I'm really excited for you guys to come back. You got that big tour coming up, the Monster
Dude,
Energy tour, huh?
kind of wild, dude. I'm so pumped. Yeah, that I just found out like 2 days ago too that that Monarch, that venue, the Brooklyn Monarch, whatever, is they're doing some construction in a couple weeks, so that room is gonna actually get 500 capacity more, because it's sold out already, which is kind of crazy. That's actually super crazy. So, if you're listening, you live in New York, there's gonna be some more tickets coming out. Let's go.
Very cool. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
tell me about that's like, are you does being on the Monster Energy tour like mean something to you? Is there like sentimental value there? I know it's like, I mean, it's like a big recurring tour, or is it just like funny or like,
Dude, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna keep 100. I don't really know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but just being totally real, like I guess it doesn't really mean a lot for me personally. I mean, and I think the only thing that I mean, I used to go like the X Games every summer, so to like be kind of like I don't know, clicked up with the people that are like a big sponsor for stuff like that, and like kind of had a foot in that world. It does feel like a little bit nostalgic, um, but like honestly, no, man, dude, that's like the one thing. It's like again, I don't really know if I'm supposed to say this, so I hope this doesn't bite me in the ass, but yeah, I mean, it's like we had that tour planned for a while, and so once we kind of clicked up with them, we actually did. It was already done. Everything was already like pretty much solidified. And they just what I love about that, and like I don't know, this is I guess maybe even a bigger tying into a bigger thing, but like hardcore is just in such an interesting spot right now, and like companies aren't foolish, they're smart and they see that there's something happening, so they're trying to get their piece involved and get in. And when Monster first reached out, I'll be honest, I wasn't very interested. Until I got on the phone because I was like, dude, I don't want to do any weird shit. I'm not down. Like, um, and I got on the phone with him, and the dude's like, who's like the rep, he's like a strip core dude. Like, used to manage Turmoil and like is super involved with like, or like it was really involved in hardcore. And he was just like, dude, I just like hardcore and I like hardcore bands and I just want to like help them get to like to do things that they want to do. And so he's like, I don't want you to do anything weird. Don't like start like he's like, "Are the logos obnoxious? I'm not gonna make you like wear shirts or anything weird." He's like, "Just like what can we do to help you guys out?" I'm like, "Well, we just want to do this like bigger, like whatever we can do to make this bigger." Like we got more bands on this thing. It's like if I mean honestly, not that I really care if there's any hate or anything, but like there was no hate. It was like because it was kind of undeniable. It's like okay, they got a pretty big sponsor, but then look at the bands we brought out. It's like some are big, some are really small. You know what I mean? It's like yo, we still got our ears to the street, and we're like, hey, like we actually have means to like take out smaller bands now. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty badass, man. And like that's the thing, they didn't make us tweak because you hear all kinds of things about like companies like, well, it's actually not really good look. We want you to do play with more of these kinds of bands. And they're like, dude, you want to bring out of pocket and gum and fucking restraining order? Like, let's do it. I'm like, yo, love that. Let's do it. Like we don't have to tweak anything and put on for the people we want to put on for. So I love that. It's so sick.
that is sick. Yeah, the whole lineup is like amazing, like throughout the run. Is it all handpicked by Drain?
It was handpicked by us, man. Yeah, literally by us, and just like, and that's like every band we know, we've seen, we played shows with already. I think every one of them. Yeah, damn, I think everyone we played with already. We just were like, yo, let's do it. Like each of them has their own thing that they bring to the package, which is really cool. Because we've done some tours where it's like a lot of the bands will be like the last tour we did was Ingrown and Painted Truth is a really heavy band. They're a heavy bill. And so this one was like, okay, let's get like a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? And it's just dope, man. So there's literally something for if you're like just like into heavy stuff, then you got like us and Out of Pocket on Terrain on some legs. If you like more punk stuff, you got that. So it's kind of sick.
Yeah, I mean, like you got like MS Paint, who are like, I don't even know what genre they really count as,
Yeah, dude.
and like, I mean, Drug Church, of course, is so
Hmm.
awesome to.
Yeah,
Um, do you? I know you guys did like a live on Axe to Grind. Are you close with Pat at all, or?
dude. Not yet. Not yet. No. Not like not that I'm not, but yeah, he's rad. I don't really know him like very well, but like he's kind of from that. I mean, that actually grind I think was 2019. It's kind of been like a He's been putting on for us for a while, but yeah, I didn't realize he lives in Australia, so I actually got to see him out there for a second of the show, and he was like, "Dude," because it wasn't like locked in yet. I was like, "Yo, like, are we gonna do this thing?" Or like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, okay, let's go." So it's been pretty awesome to get to hang with those guys.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for that tour. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick, man. I'm juiced on that.
So just speaking of like you said, like hardcore's obviously there's a lot of eyes on it right now. I mean, this past weekend I was watching like video of Knocked Loose and Scowl and Soul Glow at Coachella. You know, like
Insane.
yeah. Like I don't know, what's your take on being a hardcore band in this crazy moment for the genre?
Dude, it's sick, man. It's so dope. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know, man. Everyone's got their hot take. I think it's dope. And like, I feel so lucky because I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. We get to do things that a lot of bands, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say a lot of bands are better bands than we all are, from just even 10 years ago. Never got to do the things that we're gonna do. Never got to like, be able to kind of like get like gear and get sponsorships and get to these levels where you're playing with like big artists and like I hate to be that guy, but it's like, yo, you're able to like do it in a way where it's like, hey, this is like a self-sufficient machine now, like we can actually do this. Like, obviously all of us just do it for the love of music, but there's limitations on that. You know what I mean? Now that there's like, hey, we're able to like, there's things are going well, there's a lot of kids that are going to shows, whereas like, I don't know, pre-COVID, like, at least from my experience, I think we go to shows, and we went to shows all the time. And once in every 6 months, it was like, whoa, this is a sold out show. That's crazy, you know? But everything else, it was like just regular. But now it's like every show sold out. Every show, every venue is packed out. There's 300 kids coming out to local shows. Just there's no touring bands at all. It's crazy. So yeah, man, hardcore's in a dope spot, and I love it. That I love that we get to be a part of it, and I love that like humbly, we're like on the higher end of it that are like playing later in the day at these festivals and kind of like one of the flag bearers of this generation, like um and I don't take it for granted, it's sick. It's really sick. Yeah, dude, it's wild. It's so crazy. Yeah, I was like hitting Skylar, like those are our good homies. So I was like saw videos like trending. It's like Billie Eilish watching Knocked Loose, and it's like my boy Malachi just from Scout just kind of like gigging out. So I was like, dog, what the heck? This is crazy. He's like, dude, I know it's nuts, man.
It's super super nuts. And I'm like, I mean, it makes me excited, cuz like I wonder how many people went to Coachella this year and like saw their first mosh pit happen or something.
Yeah, dude, and that's the thing, man. It's like maybe I'm speaking to a different tune because I feel like I kind of fell in like on a different route. You know what I mean? Like everyone's got to find it somehow,
Yeah.
and that's just a matter of fact. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone's got to find it somehow, and right now it's been easier to find it than ever. And coincidentally, like I said, shows are cracked down. Anyone who's like, "Yo, this shit's whack. This shit sucks," I'm like, "Yo, when you go do a full US and play to 20, 30 kids every night, and then do it now and play to 400 or 500 kids a night, and I promise you, you're gonna have a lot more fun right now." You know what I mean? So you'd be singing to a different tune. You know what I mean? Like we all had to get out there and play, and things were just different. Obviously we were a small band, but right now small bands are still packing out rooms. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like that. So it's epic, dude. It's so sick, and there's so much positivity that comes out of it. Obviously, they'll saying whatever. It's like it's for anybody, but it's not for everybody. It's like obviously some kids are gonna find it and they're gonna not stay for long, and whatever, it is what it is. But a lot of kids are gonna find it and they're gonna be like, "Yo, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen." I found stuff from like when Odd Future was doing stuff with Trash Talk. You know what I mean? Like that was like kind of like a segue for me. It was like, "Yo, this is sick." So on paper, I'm kind of that guy too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and even like just on that, I mean, you guys have a rapper on your new record.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like I just hearing that, I wonder like, are maybe it could work in both ways. Maybe like some kids hear Drain and get into hip hop. Maybe like, Shakewell's fans find Drain. Like it just
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, dude, all that stuff. It's like anything on that G59, like City Morgue, Bones. I'm not like a huge hip hop dude, but like all those things. Yeah, it's hip hop. It's punk rock though. It's the same thing. It's punk without there's no barriers. You know what I mean? Like, and we start making barriers. It's like, yo, you go to those shows. Those kids want to do the same shit that we want to do. They just want to jump up. They want to yell. They want to go crazy, and they don't give a fuck. That's the
yeah.
same exact thing. If you put it on mute, You know, the crowd's gonna look different. You put a hardcore song over it, it's the same deal. You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, let's just get out there. Let's get out there and just play to everybody, you know?
I feel like there is a huge kinship between like hip hop and punk rock, and I mean, always has been, but like especially now. I mean, like I don't know if you saw, but they just announced Turnstile are playing Rolling Loud, like the hip hop
Yeah.
festival. Like, and I bet it's going to be really cool. You know, like
Oh, it's gonna
I
be
think these people are going
epic.
to really like them at that festival.
Dude, I feel like all of us are just kind of like waiting behind and whatever doors turnstile knocks down, we're all trying to like run through them as well. Like, yo, because that's what it is. They're gonna be the first one. And then next year, like, yo, that worked really well. Let's get these guys and these guys and these guys. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I'm so thankful for a band like that and to be in a band in the turnstile era. You know what I mean? Like, this is
Hmm.
unreal. It's so sick.
People talk about, quote, the turnstile effect. Like as a
Yeah.
member of a band, like do you feel that happening like in real time?
Kind of, yeah, like kind of. And that's the thing. I think that's where maybe people are slipping. And again, what do I know? I don't know that much. But what I will say is like, I do feel like Turnstile, like how to explain this? If you listen to Glow On, and I mean, I love everything they've done, you know. So it's like if you listen to Glow On, you're probably not really that caught off guard because if you look at all their albums leading up to it, it's like I feel like each one is like they've been like a natural progression. It feels very natural to what they want or what they want to do and what they want to play. But I do feel like maybe again, just from releases I've seen, and no one even like necessarily like big, but I do feel like I've seen things where it's like bands kind of drastically switching their sound to kind of try to be like in a vein like that. And that's so like look, man, I think why they're so successful is because they're doing what they want. And I think people, the poor man's take is to be like, you know, like, oh, I'm just going to try to do what they're doing. But like in reality, it's like, yo, do what you want to do the same way they did what they want to do. But now they've opened doors, band, and not just them, but bands like them, bands like Knocked Loose, bands like, you know, pre COVID, like Power Trip, you know, like opening doors that were just like, those are the bigger bands, Code Orange, you know. Um, and none of those bands sound like each other and they all just do whatever they want. You know what I mean? And so I think that's the thing. I think to the common folk, they're like, oh, we're gonna try this turnstile thing. But then you know, a lot of people are like, yo, we just do whatever we want. You know, that's sick.
Yeah, I think that's what happens anytime, right? That someone does something that proves to be more marketable or whatever, like, and
Yeah.
then like people are like, oh, like I think I want to try to do what they're doing because it's working, but it's like you said it best, like Turnstile, I think is so great, not because like some songs are catchy and they can do singing vocals, but just because they're being themselves always, like they're making the
Yeah.
music they want to make, and like you can tell the difference between that and a band being like, oh, well, we sing now so we can sell more tickets, like
100%, dude. I mean, you know, and as I'm saying this, you know, people probably, if someone's listening, like, well, that's funny because that dude sang on that Descendants cover and now they're blah, 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 blah. Fuck you, you know? Like, so, yeah, it's like, dude, that's it. There's always gonna be someone who's got to be a naysayer, but it's like, dude, as long as you just do what you like, you know? And that's the thing. I think that, like I said, the big takeaways is like, don't be exactly like that, but be like them in the sense of do what you like and do what feels good and natural. So we've been trying to do that at least in our camp. You know, that's always been our mo. It's just like yo, it's the three of us. We sit down, we write music we like. We don't really, you know, like we have like a producer on like record, you know, on paper, but like not like we don't use a producer like you know we go into the studio session like 99% done and then we're like hey like and he's like yo throw like a tambourine there even behind the hi-hat. I'm like all right cool, that's like our producer input, but the rest is like we write it ourselves, we write what we like, and we just do what we do, you know. um and that's sick. I take a lot we take a lot of pride in that, you
yeah,
know.
100%. On that note, I saw it. I think Taylor Young posted that he like tried to convince you out of doing the Descendants cover and is so happy that you didn't listen to him.
Yeah, dude, he from the get go, he's like, "Yo, this sucks. Like this, like before we even start tracking, he's like, this song sucks. Like you shouldn't even do this." And we're just like, "Yo, like I like it. I think it's gonna be dope." And I could see like I could like visualize and like see the vision. I'm like, dude, I think I could see this working. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's dude, that's really cool. You caught that. Yeah, he fully was not down. And again, that's the thing. I think that's why it's good to have someone to bring another little opinion in, but that's where the difference of because some people, you know, some I don't know. I guess as we're like starting to do more like stuff and we're just stepping stepping just out of hardcore into just like the world of music. You know, you realize like, yo, like producers mean a lot. You know what I mean, to a lot of bands, and that's cool for if that's your jam. You know, like for me, I'm just like, yo, if it's not us writing it, then I'm just basically playing pretend, and I'm not gonna do that. So, uh, we're not gonna do that shit, you know. But it's really common, and I don't know. That's one of the things. Sometimes even with the producer, like, yo, you should do this. There's like that level of sticking your gut, and be like, nah, we're gonna just do what we want to do because I know this is gonna be good. And that's the thing I love about Taylor. He'll be like, he's the first to admit, like, yep, that was the right call. Even in the moment, I'm like, and same with us. There's a couple. We had one thing he really did help us on this record, like 10 seconds of like a mosh part. That we were just trying to figure out how to like we were just doing it a little too fast, I think. But like aside from that, yeah, it's like, and we were like, I don't know, and then we hear like, yeah, you're right, that was a good call, you know. So it's like, it's just cool, man. I don't know, it's sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So tell me about that cover. Like, why that track? Are you a big Descendants fan?
like, yes, I'm not gonna like front like I'm like super. I know every deep cut. I definitely don't, but I mean, I love Miles Goes to College. I love I Want to Grow Up. You know, and then I feel like I just know like a lot of like the more popular tracks, you know. But yeah, dude. I mean, aside from those two records, uh, but yeah, dude, you just you know what I feel like that in you know to not to segue, but I feel like with that and intermission, they kind of serve the same purpose of like, okay, how do we do a a full length record again? And because we noticed with the first one, it's like, yo, we're playing those songs by song like six. No one really seems to know. They know the first four songs on the record, or the first five, maybe. Then six to nine, no one knows. And then the title track was California Curse, was the last song. People knew that one. So we're like, okay, how do we make it so that middle chunk like is something that people are like, if it turns on, they're gonna be like, oh, it's like a palette, it is gonna be fresh. You know what I mean? Um, so kind of the same vibe. And I was like, well, we did intermission, and we're like, well, like I don't know, like we had talked about like doing a cover at one point for like this compilation thing, and it kind of didn't end up working out. And I'm so glad it didn't because we're like, oh, that'd be a dope song to cover, and I tried to sing it. Um, and yeah, and then we was like, yeah, why don't we do that? Like it'd be so easy for us to be like, yo, let's do a Marauder cover, let's do a whatever, you know, a Machine Head cover. But it's like, dude, why don't we step? Everyone knows we can play breakdowns and they know we can yell. Let's like let's actually make it an easier song on the musician side, and then sing and challenge ourselves in that way, you know. And so, which is tough, by the way. Singing's fucking hard, you know. I'm
Dude,
like,
your
dude,
voice sounds great though. You
yo,
really like. I think it came out really good.
thanks, man. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I'll keep it 100 always, dude. There's for sure some digital love on that track. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Like we're trying
Mm.
to like it's you know, and he even said he's like, yo, if it means anything, he's like, I've done less work on this song than I've done on other bands that only clean sing. So, because I was like, yo, that makes me feel better. Because I was like, this sucks, but we've been, you know, we got it. It's just different experience, man. Like I've just never done that. I don't look at myself like a singer or like a vocalist. I'm like, yo, I'm an idiot who just yells on the microphone, and I'm like good at jumping around. That's about it. But that one really pushed me, and it's going to continue to push me because we're going to try to play that on the tour. Um, so if you're hearing and you see us on the tour, let me know if that shit sucks, dude. I apologize. We're trying our hardest, man.
Had you done really any singing just in life before this? Like, just like
No,
no. This is like
no,
straight. This is
no.
like the first time you were like, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah, Drain's the only band I've ever sang
Damn.
for. You know, like I think like one time when I was in high school, we like wrote a song for like a project or something, and I like yelled, but
Hmm.
it's not. I don't count that. You know what I mean? Like this is the first band where I was like, I just played drums, but I went to college and I couldn't bring my drum set, so I was like, well, I guess I could just like try to be in a band doing something else. So which is sick. Yeah, it was just super sick. So I found it, and we've just been doing it since. Yeah.
Well, now that you realize you have the skill, like, do you think we'll ever get a Drain song with clean vocals?
You know, yeah, I will say it's like, dude, um, maybe I don't know. You know, like, because that was when we were doing it before. It was like we were like, oh, let's do this cover. You know, we were kind of like, well, do we want to like write something like that? And I still feel the same way. I'm like, dude, I just don't really have any interest in writing a song like that, like our own. But it's fun when you're doing someone else's song, you know. But who knows? Maybe I'll be singing to a different tune down the road. You know, like, It's cool to know that we can. If we ever want to, it's cool to know that, you know?
So speaking of covers, I was kind of curious. I was looking around the internet to see if you guys had done other covers in the past. I saw on Setlist FM that early in the early days you used to do the Go Go's. We got the beat at shows. I haven't seen any video though. But that is that
Dude,
true? Is that accurate?
that's 100% true. Yeah, dude. I say you probably wouldn't see any videos. I think there's one video I can think of that we did it in. But yeah, man, we did. We used to cover that and it was really fun. You know what I mean? There was like that was like an OG drain. Like before, I'm 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 the OG singer, but there was actually one kid who was like the singer before me. When it was like they were just getting started, and they did like a show or two with him, and that was in the set. So actually, I saw the first Drain show. I was there, like and I saw it. I was like, oh, it's sick, and like they lasted like a month or so, and then it was like, oh, we should get a different singer. So I stepped in, took over. It's basically a different band, it's just the same name, but that was like when I came in, they're like, yo, we do this Go Go's cover. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, it was so fun. Yeah, we did that quite a few times, man. And it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like we've been doing the same thing the whole time we've been a band. You know what I mean? Like for the most part, we got better, but the vibe's been the same from the first shows we were playing. It's like we were bringing boogie boards and like just doing all this stuff that we like to do. Like covering the Go Go's. It's like we haven't changed. We've just been doing our thing. It just took a little time, but then it caught on, which is kind of sick because a lot of people like, oh, like we used to have like a lot more fun, but then we had to get like kind of serious, and then it caught on. We were like, yeah, we've been doing the same dumb shit forever, and it just like eventually caught on. I love that.
No, it's
But maybe
amazing.
I would bring back the cover at one point. I would just because it was fun.
Did you
It's like
sing it or did you just like turn it into a hardcore song?
no, we just same vibe. We just played it like pretty straightforward. It was so cool, dude. Yeah, there's like when you throw like a distorted guitar on there, there's like a big power chord. We got the beat. People are like jumping on me, piling up. It was so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Um,
break it back. Who knows?
yeah, I would be sick. I bet that would like really pop off at like the size venues you're playing now.
Yeah, dude, it'd be so much fun, man. We did a couple. We always try to do some fun covers, man. We did like that was like we did for a couple shows. That was like maybe like honest like 6 months we had that in the set. Then like one show we did like a Beastie Boys cover. Um, one show we did a Suicidal cover. Uh, yeah, and then we did a Violation cover a couple times, which is fun. But yeah, man, I don't know, just have a good time with it.
Yeah. What are some other like non-hardcore, non-heavy music bands that you really like?
Man, well, me specifically, dude. I mean, I don't know, man. I love all that like garage, beach, rock, indie, like surf punk stuff, like all that stuff that was on like the late Burger Records. I have a weird soft spot for all that stuff. And I still love that. Like they're just bands that like affiliated with that crowd. I used to love that, and it's one of those things that I'll be honest, I don't really like going to those kind of shows. Hardcore ruined like live music for me, to be honest, dude. But like, yeah, I love like the drums and fiddler and all that stuff. Mac DeMarco. I'm basic, bro. I'm such a basic bro. I
No,
love that
no, that's
stuff.
not basic.
Yeah, I get so hyped on that. What else? I mean, in terms of like modern stuff, yeah, I don't know. What else we listen to? I like Grateful Dead. We'll throw that on the van. Yeah, I don't know. We're kind of all over, man. I love Beach Boys. I'll be honest. I'm not like the most like in. I don't think I'm the most like tapped in like music dude. But I get down with like a lot of that stuff.
Sick. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
noticed that
dude.
you guys kind of throw in little homages to the Grateful Dead in like your show posters and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. I love that. Well, dude. Yeah. Are you in it? You down with
I
you a
love the
deadhead?
Dead. Yeah, I love the Dead.
Oh, dude, okay. Well, you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm somewhat of a fake deadhead. Not
Okay,
actually. I mean,
okay.
like, okay. I when I say in a sense of I don't have like necessarily a favorite like concert that I know like the back of my hand, but like I've got a couple I do like that I like to put on. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude, it's just it's great music. The songs are just like they're timeless and they just make you feel good. You know. And especially like I went to school in Santa Cruz. I went to the college here, and they like. I'll be honest. When I came here, I didn't know anything about them. I didn't. And I'd seen their thing, but I mean, I came here when I was 18. But the Dead like donated a a bunch of stuff to the museum or the library we have here. And so they have a whole like stock of it. So they actually just rotate things out. They have like original art, original flyers, all the guitars on display, and every like 3 or 4 months they do a full swap out and they re-put new stuff in there. So yeah, my roommate when I came here, he put me onto some stuff. Um, and that's pretty much everything I know is just from what he would show me. And I just love it, man. It's so awesome, and it just gets me stoked. And just more so like more so than just the music too, but just everything that they've done as a band and like everything they've done for their fans. And I've always like in a weird way like it's very different, but I'm like, okay, how can we like do that? I've really I wanted to make it work for this tour, and it didn't work out. I'm gonna try it down the road, but like something like, yo, if you go to more than 2 shows in a row, like, or something, and then every other show you'll get in for free, and encourage people to kind of just, yo, follow the tour, come with us. Like, it's summertime, you're all welcome to come. If you go to more than two, like, you don't have to pay, just come. Like, I don't know. I just think it's a cool community, a cool vibe. Um, but yeah, if I had to pick one, and I had to say, I don't, probably won't be listening. My buddy Tyler
Hey,
Davies,
all
he put me
good.
on live at the Red Rocks. That's probably the one that it was his favorite live show. He put me onto that. I jam that one quite often.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I'm super basic too because like I'm like, you know what? I think the best show is the Cornell show. Like,
Dude,
and that's like
yo, that's the blue one, the blue artwork.
yeah, with like some orange
Yeah,
in there. I think it's like
yeah, yeah,
77 and yeah, like it's everybody's like, "Oh, that's the best one, it's the best one." And then you get the backlash of like, "Is it really the best one?"
yeah,
It's the one I
dude.
reach for the most. I really like it.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, yo, I find myself going back to it. And sometimes, like, again, it sounds so fried, but like, just the feel, like the recordings, like when they're not playing, someone just had like a nice like warmth to them, and like, I love it, man. I feel like the Dick's picks. Oh, he's got like so many of those on there. And obviously like the Europe '72, that whole like summer. I love. We ripped one with the dude with the ice cream cone. I forget
Yeah,
what
yeah.
city that one is, but there's the other one where the dude's like shredding on the baguette. Like that's the cool. Like, dude, the art's so rad. And, and okay, you heard it here first. It's my favorite. I feel like it's almost like a weird like cheap shot, or people think it's a cheap shot. Like, bro, fuck that. Like, bro, who you think you're impressing? It's right there with the same. Like, yo, fuck the Beatles. Like, yo, no one gives a fuck. But it's my favorite thing. Like, yo, that's just whack. They don't realize though, so much of our stuff it's not like ripped, but it's like, yo, yo, I saw this old Dead flyer. Let's make our tour flyer. Let's do something like kind of similar. But instead of the Jerry Bears, let's throw the QP in. Let's throw in, other things. And then people are like, yo, this same people are like, dude, you guys have the best merch. I'm like, yo. And I'm like, thank you very much, man. It's not, again, half the stuff I find, I don't even know if it's like their official stuff. My bad. My neighbor's dog's bugging out. Um, Half the stuff that we'll take is like off bootlegs. You know what I mean? It's not even like official stuff. That's what's so cool. And like, I think that's the raddest thing about it. It's like, yo, they make the music and then it spirals, and there's so much more that goes into it. It's like now I'm ripping off a bootleg of someone who's ripping off their thing. It's like, you know what I mean? It's so sick. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I do get down on that. That's
Hell
sick. You
yeah.
notice that?
Yeah, I think it's sick that you do it because, for very long, like decades, like punks just hated hippies and hated the dead specifically. And like, I just think it's cool that we're in a place where like, a hardcore band can be like, yeah, we like them so much that we like pay homage to their art, like,
Yeah, dude, yo, and that's the thing. Like, there's been a couple times, it's like once in a blue moon, someone like, yo, like, are you like really a deadhead? No, they will be, and I'm like, look, man, I'm not gonna like front, whatever, but yeah, I'll throw American Beauty on all day. I'll throw on whatever it is, and they're like, oh, dude, I didn't even think you knew like that much. And I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, I feel like that's not much at all, but yeah, dude, it just gets me because a lot of people are like, yo, that shit is pretty sick. I'm like, I know, dude, I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the Beach Boys. I was actually going to ask because I mean you guys have so much like California culture, surf culture. Um like is so are they big for you too?
Yeah, I love Beach Boys, man. I mean, just again, like from childhood, that's like, and that's why I think maybe it's why I like Descendants so much. You know what I mean? It's like they're like a punk rock Beach Boys. I mean, literally, they do a Beach Boys cover and they do it so good. And it's like, I love the songs and they make me feel happy, man. And that's really all it is. And like, So maybe I feel like in a weird way, like lyrically it's not, but like, Drain is maybe like a romanticization of like a nostalgia for that, in a weird way where it's like, I don't know. And again, it's like, Beach Boys, they didn't surf, but they knew how to capture a feeling. And it's like, I don't really surf. I go out once in a while, I'm not like good, but we live in a beautiful surf town along the beautiful coastline. And it's like, I just try to capture that feeling and the way it makes me feel. And I don't know, it gets me pumped up, man.
Yeah, no, totally. I feel like Drain just got this really great, like, I guess, like contrast between like, these heavy riffs and like a lot of times this really like, serious, introspective lyrical content. And then there's just like California sun and like fun and like
Yeah.
warmth. And like, it's just like, it's a lot of cool clashes of things. I think, it's one of the things that makes Drain like really stand out.
Yeah, dude. Thanks, man. Well, yeah, I mean, you know what? We got enough. We got enough dudes doing hard stuff. We got enough dudes that actually live that lifestyle. We got a lot of dudes that don't live that lifestyle that want to portray that. I'm just gonna do me. You know what I mean? Like that's all I know how to do, man. And that's why I feel so blessed. It's like, dude, I got to do a band that like is catching on, but it's literally just us. You know what I mean? Like this next one, like we're going to Europe again. It's like, yo, like let's do a fly. Let's throw the QP on the Vespa scooter that I ride every single day. Let's like, here's a picture of it. And like it's like, yo, that's literally what I do every day. Like little stuff like that where it's like we can just put stuff like that in, and like and we don't have to try. We're just being ourselves. And I'm very lucky, man, because it doesn't work like that for a lot of people. And maybe they're just not trying to be themselves. I don't know. It makes you wonder sometimes. Is it not clicking on because they're trying to be themselves, or is it not clicking because they're trying too hard to be someone they're not? I don't know. But yeah, man, we just like what we like, and we just do it. And whether it's down from the music to the imagery to the merchandise to the more I guess the branding of the band, it's like, dude, we got a look, we got a vibe, and we just love it, dude.
And
Yeah.
and that's is that kind of what you sing about on Imposter? Just like
Yeah, dude, you're
yeah.
tapped in, Yeah, let's go. Yeah, dude, that's exactly, man. I don't know. Again, it's like, if anything, I mean, it sounds maybe harsh, but it is. I'm just like, dude, like I love so many people and even people I don't know. Because that thing sometimes I'm fucking weird. Who does that? Who writes about people they don't even know? Like I guess I do. You see people and like just trying so hard to desperately like want to find themselves, but they tried and they want to be other people they think look cool. And it's like, dude, yo, man, like I don't even know you like that, but I promise you're probably an awesome person. You're just not even allowing yourself to be awesome. You're not even allowing yourself because you're so fixated on like, well, this guy did this, so maybe I have to do that. It's like, dude, do you like it? Then it's perfect. You like that song? That's great. Like then just do you, man. You don't have to do all that. In the long run, it's gonna be better for you. You know? Yeah, man, and just keeping it real, dude. Just that's I feel like that's a big one. It's like again, for I just try to keep it real with myself and with everybody else. And as a band, I know we all that's our thing. It's like, dude, okay, like it sounds like almost like on like a therapy session before we do anything though. It's like, oh, like, how does this make us feel? Do we feel good about this? Not like do we think it's a good thing for marketing or whatever. It's like, no, like, does this feel right? If it doesn't feel right, let's change it and not do it. Like whether it's saying yes to a tour or saying yes to, like a mix or something. It's like, does this feel right? I don't know. We're trying too hard. Like, is it, and if it is, and there's been times like, yeah, I don't know if this feels right. Let's not do that. And we don't. We got a pretty good gauge on it. I feel like what we do, it all feels like it just feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Um, so I wanted to ask, the new record, it's your first for Epitaph. I mean, I feel like Epitaph is a label that so many punk bands like dream of being on. Like, was that a big deal for you? Like, that's just
Oh,
like for young Sammy, is that like,
fuck yeah, dude. I mean, like, even like, to be honest, even like, punk, me getting into punk rock, it was like, dude, Epitaph is still my first musical interests. Bands that just piqued my interest that I would hear on the radio before I even really knew what it was or whatever. Like Green Day, The Offspring, fucking dude, I'm blanking like so many things. You know what I mean? And like and that's the thing too. if I'm not mistaken, like a Weezer record. Like when you really look through the archive, like dude, there's so many
Yeah, they
bands.
did a Weezer record, yeah,
See,
which
they
is
did a Weezer
crazy. Yeah,
record. Yeah, dude. Descendants. You know, like there's so many bands. You're just like, oh my god, dude. Like I had no idea that all of these bands had a piece of their history was a part of this. You know, um, and so yeah, when they hit us up, I was just like, there's no way that'll actually happen. You know, and that's again, that's kind of the vibe of the band and the record. It's like, dude, like I don't know. I say it all the time, and it sounds like a broken record, but it's like I don't know how to like explain that, but it's like, dude, we're just like truly about as normal, regular people as it gets. And because kids get different ideas, and I know I even got, when I was first like really starting to get into like wanting to do the band, even and it was never like this, it was never like we want to like make money or like live off it. It was just like I just want to like play crazy shows and just like travel and see stuff and that was it. But dude, we were like as ground level as it gets, and so it's like for people, I'm not one who cares about like YouTube comments or things like that, but I love reading stuff, and it doesn't bother me. But it's one of those things. It's like, dude, I've seen so many like, yo, like this is a hype band. This is a hype band that just came out. They dropped their album during COVID. And they just got hype, and it's like, dog, nah. And that's the thing. And then we don't, dude. Drain is so low key. We never say shit. But luckily, it's like, dude, other people that like feel the need to are like, no, I saw them play to 8 people in my hometown 4 years ago, on the other side of the country from them. And so, like, yeah, that's not the case. And it's like, like we don't have to argue with anybody because we know what actually happened. Um, and that's the thing. That's like the one thing I always hoped because, like, getting on Rev felt like unreal. You know what I mean? Because it literally with them specifically, like I like knew the guy who did their A&R, and like we kind of had some like mutuals, and like dude, I would there's thing like mail your demo in here, dude. I mailed them every release we did. I'd give a physical in the mail it to him, handwritten note. Never heard back shit. I had a buddy like, yo, like you just send this to your guy who works at Rev. Like, I'm curious to see. Never wanted it, and like not just them, but just so many labels they didn't want it. Um, and then to be like, yo, we got one. And it's like, okay, like boom, right there, like we're living proof we can do this. You can do it. And then we stepped to the next one. It's like, oh, boom, we're doing this. Like you can do this. And whatever comes next, that's the thing. Like it's not like just because the record comes out doesn't mean like that mantra is done. It's like, okay, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep living and proving to everybody, including ourselves, that like we can do this. You know, um,
yeah.
it's
Um,
sick, dude.
yeah, totally. Now, just I feel like I have to ask because it's kind of related. I'm sure you're up on some of the hardcore discourse that goes on. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
one of the big things right now is like gatekeeping, right? And like who's really allowed to be part of this, and like, where do you stand on that?
Dude, I don't know, man. It's not that I go back and forth. It's varies case by case, bro. It's for everybody. It's for nobody. You know what I mean? Like everyone's allowed. Nobody's allowed. It really is. It's like it fluctuates because, dude, like again, if you're and I feel like we with our band especially, we really try to capture. It's like, dude, when kids come and they're like, "Yo, this is my first show," I'm like, "Yo, you are my favorite person in this room tonight." Like that's this says for you because I will hope you see this. And you're like, "Yo." Whether it's I want to be in a band, be like I want to be a part of this. I want to come back. You know what I mean? And a lot of times those kids that are just stoked on the music and being there for that, that's what's up. And there's a lot of kids like, yo, like this is my first time, and then they want to be weird, and it's like, yo, it happens. People are fucking weird, like it is what it is, like some kids are like, yo, like I'm just here for the social club. I came here to meet girls. I came here to, it's like, yo, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So it's like, I stand on both sides, it's like, yo, but that's the thing, like, you'll never ever catch me making fun of a kid who's like new or like who doesn't know, who's just excited. Like, that's the most important kid in the room. Um, and, it's funny, it's like, you got like grown men that are coming in, not because they're here for the music. They're like, yeah, there's a good place to get, to network and for me to do some like social climbing. I'm like, dude, get out of here, bro. You're an adult, dude. Get kick rocks. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I go back and forth, and that's the thing too, though. I feel like on that same tip, it's like I would keep going, like, we're regular people. It's like, dude, I was that kid. I remember my first show, and I was a regular kid in the suburbs. I didn't have a lot of friends that were into just aggressive music, period. Forget hardcore. I didn't have a whole lot of friends who were down to go to a metal show or a punk show or a hardcore show, you know? So it's like I had a lot of regular friends, just regular kids, like, and then like so it's like I feel like I know, we know how to talk with people because I guess what I say is, a lot of times it's like it is a weird world where it's like, dude, people really put on for each other and and they look out for each other almost sometimes to a deficit where it's like all my friends they go to hardcore shows. I work with people that are involved in hardcore. Our job is related to hardcore. So it's like when you take hardcore out of the mix, you're like, yo, I don't really know how to talk to anybody. I don't have social skills. Where it's like, dude, all these regular people. We go to school, regular people. We got regular jobs. Like working restaurants for regular patrons. It's like you kind of just learn how to talk to people, and I don't know. Yeah, man, I love that. So I don't know if that answered much, but yeah,
Yeah,
dude, like
100%. Yeah.
yeah, if you're there
Uh,
for the right reasons, then you're not that my word means anything, but you're welcome to be there, and I'm gonna greet you with open arms and all the love in the world. But you're there, and I always tell young kids like, dude, how did you guys get big, or how did you get bigger? I'm like, yo, just go to shows, man. Be a source of positivity in your scene, in your community, whether that's you're the kid who is playing every local show because you started a band, or you're the kid who's there with your $10 ready and you buying a shirt from a band. You're just as important as the kid who's on stage. Because without one, you don't have the other. You know, um, and that's how. Just be don't start trouble. End the trouble and look out for your community. Look out for your friends. And yeah, man, I think that's sick,
yeah. Well, what was your first hardcore show?
dude. So damn, if I had to say, so that's the line's like a little blurred, I guess, because like I don't know. I found punk and metal first, and then I found hardcore. But there was like bands I would see, like I would be like, oh, I saw like Rotting Out, that's a punk band. Then I saw like Power Trip, that's a thrash band. I didn't know, I didn't get it. So I feel like truthfully, the first like real like hardcore, straight up hardcore show I went to, like, God, I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. Maybe it was like, well, shit. I mean, because it's not punk, but just true hardcore. Yeah, I gotta either timestamp. It might have been rotting out at this skate park for free. No, no, first true hardcore show I went to. Yeah, it was a house show. It was a house show in my hometown. Um, and there's like local hardcore bands playing. Like, and it was like different. It was more like I guess like a youth crew style. It wasn't like heavier hardcore, but yeah, something like that probably. But I don't know, man. When I first moved to Santa Cruz, I saw like I think I've been in Santa Cruz for about a week, and we saw Trash Talk. Um, that was crazy. Yeah, and that was 2012. Yeah, early into 2012. So I don't know. That's it, like true hardcore. But yeah, I mean, I was going to like um, I don't know, a lot more metal shows growing up. When I was in high school, that was like my jam. I went to like a lot of thrash metal shows. I got a death metal after that, but it was mostly thrash metal. That's like, and I still love thrash. Like, I don't really keep up with it modern, but I guess that's my bread and butter for sure.
I feel like there's a ton of thrash in Drain's music.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like,
I mean, that's the thing. Our guitar player is a thrash dude through and through. He's like a metal guy. Um, and so it's like, and our drummer too. He loves thrash as well. I feel like he was way more tapped into hardcore stuff than I was. Honestly, both of them, him and Cody, were way more tapped into hardcore than I was. Um, but yeah, just finding that middle ground. And I think at one point we found it was like, yeah, like we can have what sounds like a fast riff, but we throw it over a halftime beat. That's dope. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to just be fast, Because that's the first couple of Drain releases, like they're still out there. I've thought about taking them off just because like we'll never ever play those songs again. But I'm like, whatever. It's kind of fun to hear the progression. We were all over the place. We didn't know what we were doing. We're like,
yeah,
oh,
you,
like,
you got to leave the history up there, right? I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's them. Like, yo, it's someone's gonna have it somewhere. You know what I mean? Whatever. But yeah, dude, that was my bread and butter.
Yeah. Have you guys ever talked about like, I don't know, like going on tour with a metal band? I mean, I always feel like listening to Drain, I'm like, I know you like, I feel like Drain kind of lives in the hardcore world, but I'm like, metalheads would really dig this. Like, you guys got riffs on those records. Like,
Yeah, dude, thank you, man. Dude, I'll be honest with you, bro. And again, I don't, this maybe will get me in trouble, dude. I don't really want to do any metal tours, to be honest. That's I know I like, dude. This is like like where we kind of butt heads, but like Cody loves metal. He's like, dude, I'd love to do like a metal tour, and I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck, dude. I really have no interest, and I know that sounds burnt, but that's the thing, man. I really like that was the world I came up in, and I know it's like probably not the same, but I just like, dude, I remember because I used to be that dude. We were actually talking about this recently, dude. I was like one of those kids, and I'm not even gonna lie, it was a different time, but things are just different. And I was like, dude, like all that karate shit, that's fucking whack, whatever. You know, Probably a lot not nicer words to be honest, but
Mhm.
it just still on that. I was like, dude, I hate that. These guys, they think they're macho, blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, and I think fights break out, and it's like, dude, I don't want to be a part of that, man. What I will say though, he's like, I'm open to a lot of stuff. Wherever the kids are at, man, that's the thing. And I remember I was going to shows like, yo, I was like in high school. I was like, dude, I'm one of the younger kids here, like kind of by a lot. Like it's a lot of older people, and that's fine. But I don't know, Drain's like for the kids, dude. Like I want to go wherever these kids are at that want to just go buck wild. Like we used to play whatever we could play. You know what I mean? Like we anything we could get on. So we played fucking stoner rock shows, death metal shows. We played slam band. We do whatever we could get on. And it's like, dude, it's very clear. It's like whether it's a hip hop show where there's all these young kids losing their minds, or like wherever the kids are, they go crazy. But like a lot of those other shows, like yo, just like we just did a show, for example, we played with Muse Waste recently. I love Waste. That was a big band for me. But like every band leading up to, they popped off for our set, but the rest it was just like posted, just drinking beers. And I was like, dude, I just don't like this shit, dude. And like I could kind of see like the tensions of kids that want to dance, and they're like, oh, dude, like leave that cloudy shit at the door, blah blah blah. I'm like, yo, does everyone just do whatever you want? Like, no, yeah, I hate that, dude. When we first, again, I know I'm rambling, dude. When we first were really getting going, and we finally started kind of meeting more kids in hardcore, playing more hardcore shows, we had like a dude that we knew who was like a straight thrash dude. He came out, and all these hardcore kids were like dancing, and it's funny because now it's like dudes that are in Big Boy and Tsunami. We just didn't know them yet, but they like one of those kids was dancing, and this guy we knew started fighting him, and he ended up getting like whooped by like 5 people. And he was like, "You don't even know Drain." He's like, "You don't do that shit at a Drain show." And it was like that exactly was like the record, like, what? Like, nope, never mind. Like, we do not. That's not the attitude we want to have. I'd rather have kids that are just stoked and want to do whatever they want to do. And that was like I think the moment where I was like, hardcore dance is kind of sick. Like I just was like I don't know why I was such a hater forever, but yeah, dude, I was like, nah, man. So maybe we'll do it down the road, man. But I we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hmm. Did you
Yeah,
hear that Rob Trujillo from Metallica is a Tsunami fan?
yeah, dude. Dude, that shit's so crazy, man. I was like, dude, so wild, man. Dude, so like that. So we played that same festival, and it was so random, dude. But like, my dad called me, and like my dad works like my hometown is like a big waterfront, like a lot of importing from like foreign countries, and he works with all these dudes, and he works with this dude who's a guitar tech for Pennywise. Anyways, and he was like, my dad called me. He's like, yo, I'm with so and so, and he's like, yo, is there any way you can get Rob Trujillo into your show tonight? And I'm like, fuck are you talking about, Dad? And he's like, yeah, like his kids love your band and they want to go. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Um, and I couldn't actually get him in, but so we played day one. So then day two he got in though, and I met him, and he was like really cool and whatever. And I was like, oh, and he was like, oh, like did you play this weekend? And I was like, yeah, like, I played yesterday. I played a band called Drain. He's like, oh shit. He's like, yo, he's like, we listen to you guys all the time in the car. He's like, oh, my kids love Drain. And he called his like kids over. And I'm just like, what is happening, dude? Um, and yeah, dude. And he was like, hold on, like, can we get a pic? So I was like, yeah, of course, dude. So I don't even have the picture. It's on Rob's phone. There's a picture of me with his kids and Rob, like, and Greg from Take Offense. It's on Rob Trujillo's phone. I don't have it. I would love to see it at some point, but yeah, dude. So I saw that during Tsunami set was on the stage. I could see him and his kids like up in the balcony, and like they were like Rob had his phone out, and I was like, dude, he's tapped in, dude. Like I think there's a lot of bands that he's tapped in with. And it was funny because he named Vane and Tsunami and Terror,
Yeah.
and that was literally the order of that fest. It was Vane,
Oh,
Tsunami, and then
okay.
Terror. So I was like, dude, I know that was like probably just off the top of his memory, like that's where it was. But dude, I think he's tapped in. His kids, it's crazy because one of his sons plays in Corn, one plays in Suicidal. Um, but they also do like their own bands. They're in this band called Auto that I don't think people really know about, but they're at shows. They go to shows. Him and his bandmates, they love that shit. They're honestly they're like hardcore kids. It gets me really hyped. Um, and that's I'm like, yo, like it just gets me all stoked, man. It's like it's wild. It's super wild. But yeah, yeah, dude, it's crazy. I'm like, yo, I can't believe we're all like, we're at this level where it's like we're even able to like that that's in an earshot of that dude. You know what I mean? Like what? It's crazy. Yeah, we played this Punk in the Park festival and his kids came out. I mean, his kids suicidal played, so his son was there. But they were like, yo, we're coming through. It's like this is so nuts, dude. What the hell? And they're like the rat dude's son's like I mean, it's to no surprise, but like such a crushing bass player, like so insanely good. I was like, dude, he was like, yo, you guys killed it earlier. I was like, bro, I can't even look at you. Like, you're a beast. You're a monster. He's like he looks like he's like 18. Like, dude, you're so dope. Insane, man. But it makes you wonder who else. It makes you wonder. We're starting to see it. And that's what I'm saying. Yo, again, if that makes me lame, then I'm lame as fuck because I think that stuff's awesome. That you got the Billie Eilishes watching Knocked Loose. That you got Limp Bizkit taking out Scowl. Like, dude, if that makes lame or that hardcore's lame, it's like you kick rocks. Scowl's another one. Just a dude, it gets me so pumped because I mean, again, a little biased because they're like my day one friends, but like, um, dude, it's like forever. Like Malachi, the guitar player writes the music, dude, he carried and still carries the weight of the Bay Area scene in a lot of ways. He was the only dude who was booking shows for a while. Like every band that was like DIY coming through, he booked. Um, and he was always like that dude who like wanted to be in a band and like kind of was, but it never really clicked. And he was always like, dude, like I'm booking the shows that get you guys like, I've gotten you guys to these levels. Like I would love to just like be there one day. And now he's past all of us. You know what I mean? As a fairly dusty, again, dude, I'm a fucking weirdo. Why do I do this? I have too much time on my hands. I'll be like, you say I see like random people like Scholar industry plants, blah, blah, and I'm like, bro, if you ask anybody in California, period, and most people who are in touring bands from the years of 2016 to 2022, they're like, oh yeah, I know Malachi. He booked us. He housed us, gave us whatever extra money he could at the door. Like dude, like Gulch's first show, dude, like Gulch's first show, this dude booked fucking uh no, that wasn't his first show, the Gulch's, but like dude's booking crazy cracked out shows that now would be in thousand cap rooms in we had a little library we would book at. It was maybe I think like the true like fire code capacity is like 15 people. It was like Jesus Piece, Hands of God, Gulch, um, all in one room, Sanction, like dude, crazy, like stupid lineups. And he was just like, fuck it, let's go, let's book it. And so all these bands have like it's crazy. That's another thing too. I was just thinking, I'm on a tangent, I'm sorry, but like seeing like Scout was just on that Show Me the Body tour with Jesus Piece. And I'm like, dude, Jesus Piece was a band he booked who to us was a huge band at that time, but in reality was only pulling maybe 100 kids. I think they only pulled, at least in our neck of the woods, they probably only pulled like 100 kids. But now they're both like crushing it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I guess, yeah. Anyone who has anything to say, it's like, dude, if you get your hands dirty at the ground level and you give back to your community, man, like and you put on, eventually, man, like that, it's gonna come back and it's gonna support you. You know what I mean? And look at those guys now. They've built such good relationships with all these bands that they've met over the years, and it's led them to be in earshot of big people. Like take notes, man. We should all be taking notes. That's
Yeah.
how you get it done.
Did you see like Post Malone wore a Scal shirt at like one of his shows or something?
Oh, dude, I printed that shirt. I work at the
Oh
shop that
yeah.
printed that. Yeah, and we were like, oh my God, dude, I can't, like, that's crazy. And they don't even, they're like, dude, we don't even know how that happened. Like, we've never met him. Like, I don't even know how that happened. Um, yeah, dude, it's crazy, bro. Yeah, and seeing people bootleg try to make bootlegs because they saw him wear that. It was like they spelt it wrong. And I was like, this is crazy, dude. Yeah, dude, it's just wild, man. So it gets me excited. Like every day, I'm like, yo, what's next? What's gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like the other day, like, I had a crazy one. There's this dude, I don't know shit about like lifting, but um this dude who goes by Seabum, who I guess is like a really, I was told he's like a modern day like Arnold Schwarzenegger at like his peak, like pumping iron in terms of like his like level of like stardom. You know, like he's not just like really strong, but like kind of surpassed that. Um, anyways, he was like posting like, so, like I had like four people hit me up like, dude, did you see this? It was like him getting tattooed like at some like private tattoo like space, and just got like drained on like the TV in the background, and he's just like getting his tattoo. They're like, yo, like it's like, dude, that's insane. This is insane, dude. Like that we're able to be in earshot of all these people so far away, knowing damn well we came from nothing in a town that had nothing. We had to build it ourselves. That's crazy. But again, yo, we can do it. You can do it too. So everyone, like if you're listening, like get after it, dude. Start a band, start a zine, start a label, just give back, or just go mosh hard. Like that's sick too, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just that classic punk rock mentality of like learn three chords, don't even need to really know how to sing or play, just get up there and do it, and anybody can do this. And
Yeah, dude, straight up, bro. Yeah, it's epic. It's so epic.
it's funny because like just on that topic of like, you know, your first hardcore shows or finding the scene and stuff, like I had Kat from Scal on the podcast recently, and she was like, one of my first hardcore shows was Drain. And now it's
Dude,
like Scal and Drain are both. So it's just wild to see, you know, like how that's
yeah,
all.
dude.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, I remember when we met her because we had never played in Sacramento, or I don't know if we had, maybe we had, but I remember the tour, I guess, and we were just out there like, yo, this is so sick, man. Like, and again, it was like maybe 40 kids, and she was super cool and like bought a tee and was like, yeah, I want to start my own band. And like, yeah, it was just dope. And you know, little do we know, like she'd end up moving to Santa Cruz and become like a close friend of ours, you know, because she was, you know, it's like three hours away from us. Um, and then within like the year, she'd moved to Santa Cruz, like pretty much just like immediately met all our friends and just became like our you know our homie. And then they started that band. They literally like, dude, I remember specifically because Malachi played bass in a band called Jawstruck. Um, and then he was like, yeah, like I don't know, like Cat really wants to do a band, so um, I don't know. I think I'll just buy a guitar and I'll just like write some songs so she can like sing on them. That was it. And it's like, yo, look at that, dude. Like it's epic. And I think sometimes like there's a fine line of like you got to try hard at things, but then sometimes trying too hard in the wrong way makes it. You know, if you're like, oh yeah, like you know, if they had started this conversation like, oh yeah, like, well, Kat really wants to be a figure in you know music and fashion, so we're gonna start a band that's gonna be geared towards this. It's like, whoa, just like no. And that's why like, yeah, we want to try. She's like, I want to like try to sing in a band. I'm like, oh, it's dope. And then you just take the steps as they come, you know. And look where they're at, man. Like, and again, it's like, yo, literally just regular kids like us that go to shows, that meet kids, and before you realize it, you're all doing the same thing. It's dope.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you were just talking about that Scal Zulu Jesus piece, Show Me the Body tour. I caught the New York date. I mean,
Dude.
that was the wildest show I've seen all year.
Oh, I
Like,
bet. I
yeah.
bet.
It was
Dude,
did you hear at all about like there was like a rogue fire breather in the crowd during Jesus Piece's set? Did you hear about this?
dude, I did. I saw some like pictures for a video from
Mm,
like, yo, insane, dude. Yeah, I mean, I would expect nothing less, especially like the Corpus crew in
yeah.
their neck of the woods at
Uh-huh.
home. Forget it, dude. That's
It was like a
crazy.
sold out 2,500 person room. Like it truly fucking nuts, and like just not a second without a stage diver flying, you know, just like constant madness, like so sick.
How epic, dude. How epic is that? Yeah, that shit gets me so hyped, man. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love seeing that stuff. And yeah, it's like, dude, all those guys. I mean, Zulu pre Zulu, the singer was playing drums in Dare. We played with Dare like for so many times. Uh, Braxton, the guitar player, he like filled in for a Drain tour on bass, you know, like years ago. It's like, dude, we just know all these people, and so it's so crazy that we're like, yo, we're all playing these slots, dude. It's just it's unreal, bro. It's unreal. It gets
I
me
think
so happy.
I think there's just a real hunger for it right now. Like I think, like if people want to like try to figure out like, oh, why is the hardcore scene popping like this? I mean, I just feel like people want it. Like people like post COVID too, like not post COVID, but you know what I mean, like post lockdown. Like I think there's just people were like at home for too long and like needed to go nuts and like got out and did it and they were like, I got to go do it again, and like
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, it's nuts, man. I was telling someone about this. We were talking earlier. It's like, yo, I feel like it did a couple things. It's like not only did it make hardcore kids more appreciative, kids are already into it. They're maybe like, yo, I'm gonna go to every show now. I'm not gonna miss one show. I know that was like for me, it'd be kind of like, oh, I'll go to the next show. And I was like, after like, yo, every show I'm trying to go to. Um, and then they got the new kids that are in, whether it's from they find out from TikTok or found out from the internet, and then or they just see like they heard music, found it from Spotify, got recommended, and they're like, well, I've never really been to this before. So between those two things coming together, it's like, yo, it's epic.
So I want to ask a little more specifics about the new record.
Yeah,
So we were talking before a little bit about some of the lyrics. We talked about imposter. I mean, you kind of touched on the title track a bit, like kind of that living proof mantra. Um, Tell me a little bit more about FTSKYS. I know that's kind of a pretty personal track.
yeah, dude. Yo, I mean, that's the thing. It is, dude. It's like it was a song I feel like I've always like wanted to write, but I never really knew how to write it. And I don't know, like uh when I was because I'm straight edge, but I wasn't always straight edge. And I feel like when I wasn't straight edge, uh a lot of my friends were. You know what I mean? And it was just tough because I was like, yo, I know this is not good for me. I know I'm like not excuse me. I know it's not like helping me out in my life and adding anything positive. I just, dude, I don't. That's the. I don't know if I would go as far as saying I was an alcoholic. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just don't know if I fully would like. I don't want to say earn that title. Like, there's, like I don't want to undersell myself. But I just didn't realize it how a part of my life alcohol was, and it was like it was tough. And I feel like a lot of straight edge songs I have, it's like and a lot of kids I knew that were edge, they're like, "Yo, I've been edge my whole life. I've never even had a drop of alcohol, so I don't even know what the other side's like." You know what I mean? So I was like, "Fuck, I don't know, man. Like, I gotta like kind of like figure this out." You know what I mean? And like, um, and that's also that I was like, I think that came from a conversation I was having with my girlfriend. We were just talking about like because she's kind of same boat, and we stopped drinking together. And she's not like Edge, but she's in drink. Um, and yeah, I was like, yo, at least I take pride because we were talking about something kind of embarrassing I did, I think, and I was like, dude, whatever. At least like I don't even know who that person was. But I really take pride. Like, well, while I wish I don't know who that person was, I take pride I'm the one who killed that person off. You know what I mean? And made it so that that person isn't here fucking up my life anymore. You know what I mean? And so it was tough. And I even like, I actually kind of tried like twice and it didn't really work out. Like it'd be like 2 nights or something without like a drink. And then it was like, and it wasn't again, I say that that's see, like, that's why I don't say alcohol because I feel like me saying that makes me sound like it's like, oh my God, I was like shaking or something. It's like, it wasn't that. I didn't get the shakes or anything like that, but it was just like, dude, it was so every day our friends would come over, we'd drink, we'd go out to bar, whatever. And like my family, it's like, they don't have an issue with it, but it's like we go drink together. My brother, it's like, yo, I gotta, where do I say no? It was always like, okay, next weekend. Oh, but someone's birthday this weekend. I can't stop now. I gotta like, then it was finally like, yo, I gotta be just like, yo, it's done. I'm done. And I still, at one point, I still try to go out with people and, then I realized like people take it personally. They really take it personally. They're like, yo, I'm not because they're like, oh, you think you're better than me. It's like, no, it's not that, man. I think I'm better than me. I gotta stop. I deserve better. And like, dude, it's crazy, man. And that's the thing. And so then people are like, dude, like, I don't know, bro. Like, I guess we like, you get weird. And there's times where I was like, well, fuck. Okay, I guess I'll just drink then. Because I would cave. And then yeah, so finally I was like, yo, you gotta find that strength and just be like, yo, like I'm not doing this. And all the whether it's alcohol or whether it's about drugs or anything really, it could be a fucking fitness journey. And I think that's the thing that's like I love our songs are specific, but they're also kind of open ended. You know what I mean? So it's like you can kind of fit it wherever you need it to fit. And I hope that some kid hears that and was like, yo, because I was thinking, dude, I used to have so much fun drinking. Like, I loved it. I was a fucking bull in a china shop. And like, people are like, oh, dude, you're so like fun to drink and party with. I'm like, hell yeah, these are my friends. And they're like, yo, you realize you take the alcohol out, you don't really have a lot in common with those people. You drink together. Um, they don't care about your well being. They don't care about like you as a person. Um, so yeah, man, it's like a song I'm really proud of, and I really want to do. And I was like, yo, and again, people are gonna they're gonna hear it and be like, well, that's kind of a dark message. It's like, no, dude, read deeper. It's not about that, you know. It's an uplifting message, you know.
Yeah. I feel like in general, your lyrical style is, it's not like your typical hardcore cliche type lyric. It's like, not to like diss anybody who maybe does something like that, but I feel like you bring a lyrical style that is like slightly, not super traditional for hardcore. What would you say as a lyricist, like how would you describe like your approach to writing lyrics?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I guess here, it's like a little glare. I guess like for me, it definitely does depend on the song and like what it is I'm trying to say with the song. If and that's sometimes I'm really not trying to say anything. Sometimes I'm like, yo, I got a message. Sometimes I'm like, yo, I kind of was like having a weird day and I was gonna like talk about it, I guess, like um but I do feel like in the songs that have a message, it's like there's I feel like I really like, the way Tara goes about it, for example, like where it's like it's positive music, but it's really hard, and it's like lyrically it's very strong. And it's like I think that's kind of my approach where it's like, I don't know, I wouldn't want to write like think positively and like you're gonna manifest everything you want. It's like, no, think positively, try to, visualize your goals, but then also go and literally smash through everything that is in your path of getting to your vision, into your goal. It's like, yo, if something's in your way, break it down. If they say you can't do it, fuck them, do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you want something, you go do it. And I think that's like kind of like just how I am as a person. It's like, yo, fuck that. Oh, they say I can't, fuck them. And so it's like I think it's like almost like aggressively positive. You know what I mean? I'm
Mm.
like, yo, like it's like I got your fucking back, bro. Let's go. You want to do something? No one's gonna get in your way, and I'll literally be behind you, saying like, that's right. Get out of the way or get ran over. You know what I mean? Um, and that's the thing. I just feel like with some of this stuff that's like about positive hardcore and stuff, it's just like, yo, I can't really get behind it because it's like, I don't know, man. I don't really think that that's exactly how this is gonna work. I don't think just having a positive mindset is gonna necessarily get us to our goal. And I think that having a negative mindset is also not gonna get us there. Like I'm not really into that shit. It's like, yo, I'm just trying not to be that way as a person. It's like, yo, like the goal should always be to feel good, whether it's in music or just in life. The goal is always like, yo, no one wants to feel bad. So if we feel bad, let's talk about it, acknowledge it. What's the issue? Can we fix it or can we not? If we can fix it, break through whatever it is and stop it. If we can't, let's like slowly chip away at it or learn to find a way to mentally be okay with it and find that peace if you can't change it. Um, so yeah, man, I don't know. I just want to feel good, dude. I want to feel good. I want everyone else to feel good. And it makes me happy that people are like, yo, your music helped me, get sober. Your music helped me. Um, I was listening to this when I was like going through a tough time and it made me get up in the morning. I'm like, dude, what? Like that's crazy, And it's like, it means we're doing something right and it means we're doing something real. And it's okay if you don't want to do real stuff. Not everyone has to do that. Sometimes I love a joke, a band or a gimmick or whatever. But it's like, yo, it's also really cool to have something to say and to say it and have it be received and understood by people. You know, I love that stuff.
Yeah, totally. And as you mentioned Terror, who are some other lyricists that you really look up to that you really like?
Damn. Wow. Well, I love honestly, dude. Like, well, man, this always gonna get me into trouble water, but whatever. Fuck 'em. No, I mean, I obviously love Terror. I love E Town. I think that Time to Shine record, like, yeah, fucking says some words that I'm not gonna say, and I'm not even gonna. again, I hate that it's like you gotta like talk about stuff like that. It's like, yo, I love E Town. Yeah, it's fucking this. It was a different time, and I don't know what that dude's situation was, but yo, at the core, like time to shine, dude. Not even gonna lie, like, that's a posse song, yeah, or like that's a motivational song, like dude, you know, oh like I'm gonna get mine by taking yours. I'm like, dude, that's sick. I feel it, dude. Like, yo, do what you gotta do. Get ahead. Um, yeah, I love E Town. Damn, I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like especially getting into it, I feel like I always like immediately resonated with like Rotting Out. Just very real lyrics. And if for me, I mean, we're from the same hometown, so I feel like there's always like this extra piece where I'm like, oh my god, like I literally know what he's talking about, um, and like all their album covers will be like in my hometown, so that one always hits a little different for me. Yeah, dude, I don't know, and again, all three of those bands are all like very real. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, what else? Fuck, I don't know. I guess that's a good question. I don't know. I don't say I'm not really. I don't really think I'm much of like a profound lyricist by any means. I think I all that honestly suicidal in a way, suicidal tendencies more in a way of just like this dude's got again. He's got such a great message, but does it in a way that doesn't that just feels like strong. You know what I mean? And they use real like words. They don't have like I don't know. If you see sometimes people like pulling out the dictionary trying to like sound more like intricate. I'm like, yo, like, nah, that's not me. But Evil Finds Light. I was listening to Evil Finds Light the other day, and I was like, damn, I came out. I literally started a song. The first single, his whole rollout. The first lyrics like, man, I just woke up. It's like, damn, like, dude, I feel like I talk like, yo, man, I just woke up, dude. Like, I don't know, Um, yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Now also, so obviously you were a drummer first. Obviously, you drummed in Gulch. Um, do you find like going from like being a drummer to a vocalist? Like, I feel like that's especially lately we've seen a lot of that. Like, I mean, Ian Shelton from Military Gun was like a drummer turned vocalist. Brendan Yates, drummer vocalist. Like, do you feel like as a drummer, as someone who like understands like rhythm, like on a deep level, do you bring that to being a front person at all?
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, dude. And that's the thing. It's like, I think for me, it's like trying to figure out like all and it's crazy because I won't even think about it. Like I won't even like consciously be like, oh, but then after I sit, I'm like, oh, that's so weird. I like match so the words are matching like because we always write the music first. Like for our band. Maybe once in a while I'll like doodle a little something down that I'm like, okay, I want to expand on this like topic or something, or like, oh, that could be a cool line. But like, I always wait till the song's done, and then I start going in, and I look so crazy every time we write music. I write every song we have in the. I always go to the laundromat. Whenever Drain's writing, I got the cleanest laundry, bro. I go to the laundromat. I'll just be with my headphones in, and I'm just like mush mouthing, like nothing, no words, but just like over. I'm like, okay, that's a good like pattern, you know. Um, and sometimes I'll think I'm like, I won't even realize it, but I'm like, oh, I totally matched, and I did words with every like kick drum hit or something, And I'm like, yo, that's where that beats at. Um, so I think it really did help, and like I played drums for years before I did vocals, so I think just like really kind of understand the instrument or like how to play it, at least in this style of music, helped me to be like, okay, this is like going to be a good thing. And like, um, I don't know, like taking that approach, but then also like my own personal interest and just like, yo, I love, I always wanted to just be a band that you could sing along to. That's all I ever wanted, man. Like be a band that kids would sing along to and like try to dogpile and stage dive and um, so that's the thing. It's like we're writing. It's like I always try to be like maybe I do a good job. Maybe others not so much on this new record. We'll find out. I think we did a good job, but try to make it so it's catchy. Like yo, like what's something's like memorable and you're gonna like remember and want to sing along to it. Find out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And I also feel like for you specifically, it's like it kind of goes the other way too. I mean, like for me, right? Like Gulch is such a drum band. Like I feel like I mean,
Yeah.
great riffs, love the vocals, but I feel like that you bring this like you put this hop in Gulch's step that like always like when the drums kick in Gulch songs, I feel like I just like my blood rushes. Like there's something about Gulch drumming. I think that like you like that snare drum and those Gulch tracks, like it's like just as important as like the riffs, like it's
Yeah, dude, yo, thank you, man. I mean, dude, I think that's yeah, honestly, that I think a lot of that is the fact that we just live tracked those drums, So it's like if you put me to a metronome, like I'm all over the place, but it feels real. It's like there's like a heartbeat to it. And yeah, we just like I'll always like I loved when the snare came out on that record, and the way the kick drum just hits you right in the face. But yeah, dude, I feel it, and that's the thing. It's like, um, I guess then that didn't like lead to the demise, but as a part of that too is like, guys, I can't be in like two places at once, and Drain was always the baby for me. So it was like, dude, if we would like have a Drain show or a tour booked, and then Gulch would get like a show offer, I was like, yo, I can't do it. And they played with like a fill in. They actually had Ian fill in from Military Gun. He's the only dude. I think Tim filled in for me one time too. From he was playing bass in Gulch, plays drums in Drain, but he played drums for a Gulch show. I was sick. But anyways, they had Ian in there. Dude, he played the parts like he totally played them well. We're just like, dude, we don't. It was just different though. It's like, dude, we don't really want to do a fill-in thing. And so I was like, yo, well, I can't. That's one of those things where just like eventually, and it's like it just gets a little tricky. I don't know these guys' situation, so I'm not even gonna try to speak on it. But it's like I feel like kind of sitting with like like Turnstiles and Angel Dust. It's like, dude, those all the guys in Gulch are still my boys. It was just like, yo, and we just can't all be in the same place. And so it's like, yo, either we got to get different guys or we got to call it, and we went with that option. But yeah, it was like, dude, it was so much fun in the moment. And I love just getting to rock out on the drums. It was fun.
So I think I got one more thing to ask you. So we've talked a lot about kids that are new to hardcore. So if kids listening to this right now and they're new to hardcore, who are 5 current bands they should check out?
5 current bands they should check out from right now. Okay, well, dude, this might be a cheat code. They are still current, but they are still putting new music out. They're not just playing. But I will say, go listen to Terror. Go listen to Terror. I know that's like maybe not the thing, but what's dope with Terror is you could listen to that newest record, or you could go listen to like one with the Underdogs, and they're still going to be like just as influential. I feel like the new record rocks, man. But let's see, to make it, and I'm gonna make it a little challenging for myself. I say Terror. So let's just say that's one. Naturally, my other bet wants to say Bay bands, who we already talked about, the Tsunamis and Scout. So I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna tweak it out a little bit. I think that you should go listen to, let's see here. Off the top, I want to try and make sure I dial this in. Well, you know what? If you haven't listened to it, go listen to Regulate. I love Regulate. Those are my dogs. I feel like I got it. Same tip. I say no pressure. But yeah, let's say Reg, Speed, for sure Speed. I would check out King 9, and what's another one, man? Reg, Speed, King. Damn, I'm just going down the flat box showcase. Reg, Speed, King 9. Let's switch it up. What else? Who else has been really getting me stoked out lately? Dude, fuck, I mean, I love Combust. Fucking Combust. I know that I saw those guys there. That's the last show I went to, so that's like kind of was fresh in my head.
Sure.
But they crush. I mean, all those bands are great. Yeah, dude. I think they all are bands that are just gonna go down the road and be like, oh yeah, that was like up there with like the torchbearers of this generation, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Awesome. All right,
Yeah,
Sammy.
dude.
Yeah. You have anything else you want to add before we?
Yo, I just want to do one quick shout out. I don't even know if he'll be tuning in, but my girlfriend's uncle, he loves Brooklyn Vegan. So yo, what's up, Danny? Just want to do a quick shout out, all the love. Heck yeah. And yeah, man, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate you taking the time to hang and chat with me, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time as well.
Thanks, brother. Cheers, man.
Hey, thanks again to Sammy. Thanks for listening. Go check out Living Proof by Drain, out now on Epitaph Records. It's a great album. I highly recommend it. And hey, if you like what you heard, rate, subscribe. Any little help goes a long way. Tell your friends about us. It's super appreciated. Thanks again. See you next time.